So how did you meet Mickey Stevenson?
Well, actually, he met me. I was singing at the 20 Grand. I had won an amateur contest, and I was getting $5 a night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to sing 3 songs and get out of there and get home by 12 because Daddy wouldn't let me in the house after 12. So I had sang Gin House Blues, Fly Me to the Moon, and a Canadian Sunset. I thought we were Canadians too, because before 911, you could walk right over there across the river to Windsor. So here comes this good-looking man with this very well-dressed hair, fine suit, and some studs and a tie all tied, and I thought I saw, here comes my Prince Charming, I'm finna get hit on, right? So he gave me a card just as I was going around the edge of the stage heading toward the dressing room. He said, you have talent, come to Hitsville. I said, what? So, so I went on back to the dressing room and looked at the card. On that card, there was a girl we had heard about named Mary Wells. She had made a sensation in Detroit, and she was my idol, sort of, because she had a record out, and she had met Berry Gordy in the Gold Room at a record hop with Marv Johnson. And she had approached Berry Gordy and sang this song. She was only 14 years old. She sang this song, Bye Bye Baby, for him. He said, I'm going to make you a #1 female vocalist. And he did. On this card was Marv Johnson, who had a record called You Got What It Takes. And then they had Barrett Strong in there with Money, Janie. And then there was the Marvelettes, Mr. Postman. I said, oh, I heard about these girls. They won an amateur contest with WCHB. So I said, hey, I'm going to this company. So I quit my job at the dry cleaners, and I went there the next morning. Much to my surprise, there were people lined up on the front porch. I think I told you this before anyway. Not trying to be redundant, but they were waiting to get in, but I had a business mind. I had a card. So I walked past all those people. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning, secretary time. And when I got to the front desk, this little girl with this squeaky voice named Warner Roster said, may I help you? And I said, yes, may I see Mr. Stevenson? She said, who you mean, Mickey? I said, okay, that's what y'all call him. May I see him? So she buzzed the door. She didn't say nothing else, because I guess she was busy with all them people on the front porch. The lobby was full of people. So I went on and opened the door, and there he was, Mickey Stevenson, standing there in the same suit. His hair was a little tousled. He had rolled up his sleeves, took off his jacket, undid his tie, and he looked at me and said, what are you doing here? Oh, I could have just melted on the floor. I guess I look real strange, too. So I said, you know, you gave me this card and told me to come to this company? He said, yeah, but you're supposed to call for an audition. We have auditions every third Thursday. And the phone was ringing off the hook. It was only 4 lines, but that phone kept ringing. He couldn't get out of that office. He was trying to go away to write this song for this drummer named Marvin Gaye. Anyway, he left me in that office 3 to 4 hours. And I sort of took over. I started taking messages. I had about 17 guys coming in. Most of them wanted to know who I was. What are you doing in here? I said, well, Mr. Stevenson told me. You mean Mickey? I said, yeah. Nobody called him Mr. Stevenson. So yeah, Mickey, I said, I should be right back. Can I take a message? Freddie Gorman came and flopped his mailbox bag down on the floor. He had written Mr. Postman. He was a cutie too, but he was saying, hey, can I use the piano? But I had already promised it to one of the other producers. That's what kind of office that was. But it was a little tiny cupboard hole of a closet. And it had a typewriter, it had a desk, a clock, and a file cabinet. Mickey left me in there for 4 hours. James Jameson and Benny Benjamin came in there going to kill me because they wanted to get paid that $5 for a session they had done. And I had no control over how they get paid. But when I talked to Betty O'Shea and gave the phone to her after they cursed me out, I let them curse her out. And she said, put the secretary back on the phone. So then I was official. When Mickey came back, I handed him a stack of neatly torn note paper that I had taken notes on. And every one of those producers had 2 and 3 women. I don't know if they were singers for them or if they was the other woman or their wives, but I learned how to be a real good secretary. And I kept them separate. And I got to know all of the guys in just a matter of 3 or 4 hours, and was indispensable. So Clarence Powell was A&R director. He promised to take me to my house and tell my dad where I had been, because I did not dare go home and not tell my dad where I was all those maybe 5 or 6 hours that I was at the studio. And they asked me to come back. That went on for 3 weeks. And I finally told Mickey I can't come back because my dad said I got to get paid. I can't be coming down here and don't get paid. Just the $5 for sessions wasn't sufficient. And Mickey went to Berry Gordy, got my $35 a week check, and I was happy.
What is it? You know, that's an incredible story. It really like it cements why you guys are still friends today. You know,
Let me just turn that light off so it doesn't flash.
you keep talking. Is there?
I was really impressed with Mickey because he didn't hit on me. he just said, excuse my baby's back here. He just said, you have talent. Come to Hitsville, USA. He didn't ask me my name. I guess they had announced my name, Martha Lavelle. But he said, come to Hitsville, you have talent. I was very impressed because I always thought I had talent after singing solo in my choir at high school and being chosen in elementary school by Mrs. Wagstaff, who would ask me to sing different songs at the end of the class. I just thought I had talent. I had one contest in church, and they loved me at the church. I sang in the choir and everything. So I felt that I had been discovered, and I liked that. He didn't give me no line, he wasn't trying to con me or nothing. And so I was really impressed, the business manner in which he approached me.
And when you guys recorded Dancing in the Street, were you together? Was he in the studio?
Oh, I told you about that. The three guys standing up in the control room, and Marvin singing the song. And then he looks over at me and said, hey, man, try this on Martha. I had learned the song because he had sang it several times. It was a 4-track recording at that time. So when they took Marvin's voice, put my voice on and took Marvin's voice on, what a loss. Because Marvin had sang it like a ballad to some girl, calling out around the world. Are you ready for a brand new beat, baby? Marvin. But when I heard it, I said, no, I thought about a lot of different situations that people had actually danced in the street. And I went calling out around, where a girl's voice would be on that, in that particular key, same key. And I was overjoyed when they said, hey, it's a good take. And they was clapping hands and slapping each other on the shoulder and the head, talking about, hey, man, we got a hit. And Lawrence Horn looked up at him and said, hey, man, the machine wasn't on. I said, do it again. So that fire you hear in that song was me saying, oh, God, I thought I nailed it the first time. I had a reputation for 1 or 2 takes, though. That's why I think I'm the most recorded artist on Hitsville's label. I made demos for everybody. But they said, do it again. And I did it again.
What was it like when he left? And you were still there?
I wasn't there.
No.
When the company resolved and moved to California, my contract was up, and my baby was fresh. I had a 1-month-old baby when they moved to California. Did you move with them?
I left before.
You left before? Well, I must have left right after you left, because I did depart before my contract was up, and I came back. What year did you, Mickey Stevenson, what year did you leave Motown? I'm curious.
About 71 or something.
That's the year my baby was born. So we left around the same time, but my contract was up. I was real mad. I said, they left me here, but I realized if my contract was up, I wasn't part of the family, so what could I say? But I had fond memories. And I know Mickey Stevenson ran that A&R department, and like I said before, he did far more work than Berry Gordy.
Thank you. What am I missing?
No, well, that's it. I just wanted to hear